Hi everybody. The speech I have selected for this week's assignment is the famous speech given by General George S. Patton to the Third Army right before D-Day. Very powerful, very significant. I think it's a big part of history for the military, so that's why I selected it. I'm going to try to do my best on it. I hope everybody enjoys it. Please be seated. Man, all this stuff you hear about Americans not wanting to fight, wanting to stay out of the war, is not true. Americans love to fight. All real Americans love the sting and clash of battle. When you are kids, you all admire the champions, marble shooters, the fastest runner, the big league ball players, and the toughest boxers. Americans love the winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. That's why Americans had never lost the war and will never lose one. The very thought of losing is hateful to Americans. Battle is the most significant competition in which a man can indulge. It brings out all the best and removes all that's base. You are not all going to die. Only 2% of you right here today will be killed in a major battle. Every man is scared in his first action. If he says he's not, he's a liar. But there are real heroes. A man who fights even through his fright and being scared is a hero. Some men will get over their fright in a minute under fire. Some take an hour, and for some will take days. But the real man never let his fear or death overpower his honor, his sense of duty to his country, and his inner manhood. All through your army career, you men have complained about what you call training. That is all for a purpose: to ensure instant obedience to orders and to create constant alertness. This must be bred into every soldier. I don't care for a man who's not always on his toes. But training made veterans of all you men. You are ready. You are ready for combat. A man who's not alert at all times, he will die quick. He needs to be alert if he expects to keep on breathing. There are 400 newly marked graves in Sicily, all because one man wanted to sleep on the job. But they are Nazi graves, because we cut the bastard sleep before his officer did. An army is a team. It lives, eats, sleeps, and fights as a team. This individual hero stuff is a lie. I don't need any of it. I don't want any of it. The people who write that stuff for the Saturday Evening Post don't know any more about real battle than they do about life. And we have the best team. We have the finest food and equipment, the best spirit, and the best man in the world. I actually pity those Nazis we're going up against. They have no idea what they're about to encounter. All the real heroes are not storybook combat fighters. Every single man in the army plays a vital role. So don't ever let up. Don't ever think that your job is unimportant. What if every truck driver decides that he didn't like the wine on the shelves and turned yellow and jumped headlong into a ditch? What if every man said that? Where in the world will be then? Thanks God Americans don't say that. Every man does his job. Every man is important. The ordnance men are needed to supply the guns. The quartermaster is needed to bring up the food and clothes for us, because where we are going, there is anything to steal. Every last man in the mess hall, and even the one that boils the water from keeping you from getting sick, has a job to do. Each man must think not only of himself, but think of his body fighting alongside him. We don't want cowards in the army. They should be killed off like flies. If not, they will go back home after the war is over and breed more cowards. The brave man will breed more men, and we'll have a brave nation. One of the bravest men I saw in Africa campaign was on a telegraph pole. In the mix of furious fire while we were moving toward Tunis. I stopped and asked him what he was doing up there. He answered, "Fixing the wire, sir." I replied, "Isn't it a little unhealthy to be up there right now?" I asked. "Yes, sir, but this wire has got to be fixed." I asked, "Don't those planes strafing the road bother you?" And he answered, "No, sir, but you sure did." Now, there was a real soldier, a real man, a man who devoted all that he had to his duty, no matter how great the odds and no matter how seemingly insignificant his duty appeared at the time. And you should have seen the trucks on the road to Gaves. Those drivers were magnificent. All day and all night they crawl along those roads, never stopping, never deviating from their course, with shell bursting all around them. Many of those men drove 40 consecutive hours. We got through on good old American guts. Those were not combat men, but they were soldiers with a job to do. They were part of the team. Without them, the fight would have been lost. Sure, we all want to go home. We want to get this war over with, but you can't win a war by laying down. The quickest way to get it over with is to get the people who started it. We want to get over there and clean the mess up. The quicker they are wiped out, the quicker we go home. The shortest way home is through Berlin and Tokyo. So keep moving. And when we get to Berlin, I'm personally going to shoot that paper hanging Hitler. When a man is laying in a shell hole, just staying there all day, it's not going to work. A Nazi will eventually get that soldier. My men don't dig foxholes. Foxholes only a slope up offensive. Keep moving. We will win this war, but not only by fighting, but showing the Nazis that we got more guts than they will ever have. We're not just going to shoot the bastards. We're going to rip out their livings, guts, and use them to grease the threads of our tanks. Some of your men are wondering whether you will chicken out or not under fire. Don't worry about it. I can assure you that you will do your duty. War is a bloody business, a killing business. The Nazis are the enemy. Wade into them, spill their blood, or they will spill yours. Shoot them in the guts, rip open their bellies. When shells are hitting all around you and you wipe the dirt off your face and you realize it's not dirt, it's the blood and guts of what once was your best friend, you will know what to do. I don't want any message saying I'm holding my position. We are not holding anything. We are advancing, constantly advancing. We are not interested in holding anything except the enemy's head. We are going to hold him by the head and we are going to kick him in the rear. Our plan of operation is to advance and keep advancing. We are going through the enemy like water through a strainer. There will be some complaints that we are pushing our people too hard. I don't care about such complaints. I believe that an ounce of sweat will save a gallon of blood. The harder we push, the more Nazis we kill. The more Nazis we kill, the fewer men will be killed. Pushing harder means fewer casualties. I want you all to remember that. My men don't surrender. I don't want to hear of any soldier under my command being captured unless he is hit. Even if you are hit, you can still fight. That's not just a lie either. I want men like the lieutenant in Libya, who with a lager against his chest, swept aside the gun with his hand, jerked off his helmet, and killed a Nazi. Then picked up the gun and killed another one. All this time the man had a bullet through his lung. There is a man for you. Don't forget, you don't know I'm here at all. No word of fact is to be mentioned in any letter. The world is not supposed to know what they did with me. I'm not even supposed to be commanding this army. I'm not even supposed to be in England. Let the first bastards to find out be the Nazis. Someday, I want them to remember that. That there is one thing, and there's only one thing you men will be able to say it when this war is over and you get back home. 30 years from now, when you are sitting by your fireside with your grandson at your knee and he asks, "Granddad, what did you did in the Great World War II?" You won't have to cough and say, "Well, your daddy stayed in Louisiana." No, sir. You can look him straight in the eye and say, "Son, your granddaddy rode with the Great Third Army and a man named George Patton." Alright, warriors. You know how I feel? I'll be proud to lead you wonderful guys in battle anytime, anywhere, any day. That's all.